Hi everyone, and welcome to this second attempt at episode 13 of my kind of a podcast. The first attempt was really awful, so I'm not going to post that. And so today I come to you with my hair undone because I am going to talk about hair, and more specifically about natural hair and beauty, and also discuss this times that we are living right now, when we are in quarantine, and what are the expectations that are put on women, especially, to maintain a certain standard of beauty even when the world is ending around us. If you already know me, you know that I have been a part of the natural hair movement for a very long time. I did my first what we call big chop, which is when you cut the hair that has been relaxed chemically and regrow it natural, and keep it like that basically. So I did my first big chop. It was in 1999. At the time I wasn't really a part of the natural hair movement itself because I only really did it for aesthetic reasons. I wasn't trying to follow a movement or a fashion. I went back home for the summer and I went camping, and it was a very rustic campsite by the sea, and the showers were open public showers, so it was just like 4 shower heads around a pole outside of the camping area, and there was no public lighting or anything, so you had to bring your torch. And so I went one evening after dark to have a shower. After spending the whole day at the beach, we have the salt and the sand and everything. You can't just really put on your pajamas and go to bed like that. You have to really rinse it out of your skin and of your hair. So I went to have a shower, and the water was running into my hair, and suddenly I feel something cold just dropping into the middle of my scalp, and I smell this really strong, like fake apple smell. And I knew that smell quite well because when I was a child I had a bubble soap, like a bubble bath soap that my mother had purchased me, that was called pomme d'api, and that was supposed to smell of apple, but it was like chemical apple, not a real like apple. And I smell this, and I hear a voice of some guy I didn't know really, saying, "Oh yeah, it's good for your hair, try this, it's gonna be good for your hair." And it was somebody I did not know, and they just run off. And I wear glasses, I can't see much without them, so I wouldn't even be able to say who it was because I didn't even see them. It was dark, I didn't have on my glasses, I had no idea what was going on. And so I just rinsed this thing off my hair. It was doing a lot, it was foaming quite a lot. And a few days later I was brushing my hair, or like I normally did. At the time I had relaxed hair in like a kind of a short bob style, and so I was brushing my hair, and it just started to fall out like in clumps. Like every time I push the brush through my hair, it came out full of hair, of my own hair, and that wasn't normal. And very soon I had like a big hole where I had lost most of my hair in this area there. So until the end of the summer, so that was summer 1999, I continued to just try and do my hair and hide this hair loss. But then when September came and I went back home, and I was looking at myself in the mirror one day and thinking, okay, I have this much regrowth in my hair at the root. So if I just cut it off and grow it again, maybe that's better than trying to salvage this, whatever was left. And I was thinking maybe I could do hair extensions or just cut it all off. And hair extensions at the time was not a very easy thing for me to do because I was living in France and I didn't know it. I was in the south of France and there were not many hairdressers and things that could help me with that. So I was looking at myself in the mirror and then I went to grab my school scissors and I just cut all my hair off. And when my mother came home, she freaked out a little bit, but you know, I was happy with the decision I had made. I had never had short hair, but I also had never had long hair. So I was kind of happy with it. So I continued to, you know, look after my short hair. I continued to grow it, style it as much as I possibly could, even though at the time, you know, people often mistook me for a man, which I thought, you know, was a bit crazy because I have these, you know. I don't really know how anyone could think that looking at me that I am anything other than a woman, but anyway. And so I grew my hair again and I was very happy with the short hair. I was doing twists, but I do have very coarse, very kinky hair. I have what people call 4C type hair. So it was like a afro and short. My hair never grows very long. It grows very slowly. And the longest I could ever grow it was down to maybe the bottom of my neck. And I used to go to my mom's hairdresser, and she was from Algeria or Tunisia, I don't remember. And she was telling me that she could do a texturizer on my hair. And I didn't know what a texturizer was. She told me, oh yeah, it will just, you know, make your hair a little bit softer, a little bit curlier. And in my head, this seemed like something I wanted to do because my hair just grew out like that and I couldn't do much with it. So I said, okay, let's do that. And then she did the texturizer and basically it just relaxed my hair again. So I was a bit annoyed about that. I thought, okay, I spent all these years, so it was 3 years later. So I spent all these years growing my hair this little bit, and now I am back to square one because at that time I had made the decision I didn't like the relaxed hair. So I went ahead and cut it off again. I thought, you know, I've done it before. It's okay. I don't mind the short hair. I cut my hair off once again. And at that time, I was kind of involved with online forums and things like that. And I mentioned in the forum where I was that I had cut my hair. And I instantly got a phone call from someone who I knew, but I didn't know him like that. And asking me if everything was okay, if I needed help with anything. And I was like, no, I'm fine. He said, yeah, but you cut your hair. And to him, the fact that I had cut my hair was a sign that I was in the middle of a psychotic episode or something. Told me, yeah, when women cut off their hair, it's because they are going mad. And like, no, I wasn't going mad so much as I wasn't happy with the state of my hair, and I cut it off. So that's nothing, you know. It's fine. I'm fine. Don't worry. And yeah, and so for a while I kept the hair short. I had like a tapered fro kind of style, and I was doing little twists and every now and then I was doing hair extensions when I didn't want to worry about my hair anymore. And then I decided to grow it out. And then after a while, I was tired of just only doing the same hairstyles, like twist out, twist out, afro, twist out, twist out, afro. So I decided that I would try locks. So that was 2007. But one thing that is very important to mention about my personal journey with the hair and beauty is that I am not the kind of person who likes to go to the hairdresser, who likes to have people doing my hair or anything. And I was very much into DIY. And when I cut my hair the second time, that's when I started to get involved with natural hair forums. A friend of mine invited me to join a forum board at the time where there was lots of ladies who were promoting the natural hair, I don't know, philosophy or lifestyle, I suppose. And so that was 2002, 2003, something like that. So it was very much at the beginning of the actual movement that we all know now. And so I didn't really feel like I fit in as much as other people, because my type of hair is not the type of hair that gets the praise and that, everyone wants to emulate. And at the time I was I felt very inadequate in that everyone was in search of curls and how do you get curls and products that will enhance your curls and also avoid shrinkage. And my hair is no curl, all shrinkage. So I wasn't feeling included in the movement. But, they were nice people. So I stuck around. And I also joined, so this forum board that I was on at the time was a French speaking one, but I also joined some English speaking ones, mostly American people. And there as well, I also felt quite, not, I didn't really fit in, because it was all growth challenge this and growth challenge that. And there was so many threads of people talking about how they are trying to grow their hair as long as they can. I had already grown my hair as long as I could, and that wasn't long by any means or any stretch of the imagination. So I kept getting comments about how, yes, if my hair doesn't grow any longer than the bottom of my neck, it's because I'm not taking good enough care of it, and it's because I am not retaining my growth and my hair is breaking. And none of this was true. I was looking after my hair properly. This is just the way my hair was. And there was nothing else I could have done to get my hair to reach the bottom of my butt, That wasn't going to happen. And I'm very happy that I figured that out eventually, because it was making me very unhappy. The fact that the whole movement was called natural hair movement, but it felt to me like it was only made for a certain type of natural hair, or if you had a bad type of natural hair, you had to have the length to compensate for the awful texture of your hair. A lot of the people who became famous through this movement and who made a career out of it, eventually they were all the ones with either very long or type what they call 3C, 3B, so curly, hair that grows down, not up towards the sky, So one of them I was very big fan of. I'm not going to mention her by name. She's very famous. She actually branched out from having a YouTube channel into working on television, and Well, if you know the natural hair movement, you know who I'm talking about. She had very long locks. Well, she still does locks. And she was one of the beauty gurus, even though that word didn't exist at the time. So it was one of the beauty gurus who launched the fashion of doing pipe cleaner curls. And I was a very big fan of her, and I was following her on most social media. At the time, she was very present on Facebook, and I was in her Facebook group. And one day I made a comment on her page, and she replied in a way that I thought was so ignorant. Like, she couldn't understand what I was trying to say, and she just went into a tirade about something that didn't make any sense, and that kind of made me think, oh wow, I thought she was smarter than that. And you know, like, when you in love with someone and one day they do something or they say something and suddenly the charm breaks and you're like, oh wow, I can't believe I used to like you. And it was almost like that. And suddenly I was not into her anymore, and ironically that's when I started my lux journey, because before I was kind of resisting the idea of getting locks because I thought the people who were telling me I need to do locks is because they think my hair is bad and cannot do anything else. So I might as well just get locks and be done with it. So I resisted the idea for a while. And then one day I just gave in because I was tired of doing my hair every week or every other week. So I did the locks, but I've always been a DIY person, so I was always doing my own hair and also making my own hair products. I went to hairdressers a few times, but that I maybe once a year I do that when I have a special occasion or I want to treat myself for whatever reason. I used to grow an aloe vera plant just so I could get the aloe vera gel and create my own hair products and things like that. So right now I'm extremely grateful about the fact that I am self-sustainable in terms of my hair. I can do it myself. I can care for it with whatever I can find on the kitchen shelves. And I actually even do my son's hair because he has locks too. And I cut both of my son's hair. You know, we are very self-sufficient in terms of our hair care. But lately I've been seeing a lot of stories about people complaining about the fact that they are in lockdown, they are in quarantine, whatever, and they cannot get their hair done. And there was this woman in the US who went to get her hair cut, even when before she was telling people to stay at home, and you know, and it got me thinking, it got me thinking about the fact that even in times like this, even in a moment when, the world is falling apart, literally, people are still bothered about the state of their hair. And I think it says a lot about how much we do accept our hair and our natural beauty, because it's I would expect this to be a kind of a liberation for people. Oh, well, I can't do it, so I won't do it, and then that's it. I would expect this to be the time when people decide not to care, but instead it's like they care even more. And I don't understand why we put this kind of pressure on ourselves to maintain appearances when it doesn't really matter ultimately. So I don't know if the way if I don't know if I'm saying that because I am able to look after my own beauty. Like for example, I started doing my nails as well myself because my manicure is closed, obviously. These are actually gel extensions, so I had to learn to make my own gel extensions. The good thing is I already had all the stuff I needed at home, so I was able to just, pick up the tools and start doing it. And so I don't know if the way I feel is because I am one of the lucky ones who doesn't need uh, someone else to do it for me. But I think it's quite funny how the tables are turned when before I used to feel like I was the ugly duckling, and now I have turned into this one who can just do it all by herself and who doesn't need anyone to look after my 4C hair. Lately, I've heard a lot of people complain about, oh my god, I have to do my hair and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. I did want to talk about the whole hair, natural hair thing. I did write a few articles for a friend's website about this topic specifically, and maybe I will look into making a video about that later on. This one has gone on for a while, so I'm going to stop talking for now, and I will wish you a happy lockdown, I guess, and hopefully I'll be back soon talking about something completely different. Have a very good rest of your day. Goodbye.